Hello everyone, welcome back to this series where I simplify every aspect of Azure DevOps interface. My name is Chidebere. Today, we'll be diving into Azure DevOps variables and variable groups, what they are, how variable works, and why they are essential for managing your pipelines effectively. So let's get started. So first, before going into hands-on, I would like to give a brief overview of what variables and variable groups are in Azure DevOps. One, what are Azure DevOps variables? So these are placeholders or values you can define and use throughout your pipeline. You can think of them as reusable parameters that can help you avoid hard coding specific values like your environment parameters, resource configurations, or other sensitive data. And then the variable groups, in the other hand, is like a collection of the variables that you can share across multiple pipelines. Instead of redefining your variables for every pipeline, you can store them in a centralized location or group for reusability and consistency across all your pipelines. So the few benefits of using a variable groups instead of just individual variables are it helps you to avoid duplicating variables across multiple pipelines. Instead of repeating the same kind of variables in every pipeline you're building, you can just use a centralized variables. Then you can update once in that variable group and then use that across all the pipelines, and every pipeline that is making use of that particular variable group automatically inherits the changes being made at a go. So you can also use that to install your sensitive data. Instead of hard coding some secret information within your code base, you can use a variable groups to hide those secrets, or even link your variables to Azure Key Vault, which is even the best option. Linking that to Azure Key Vault so that when your pipeline is running, automatically on the background it will query Azure Key Vault and get in those details and populate that for your pipeline to make use of. So you can also switch environments by linking these appropriate variables to the pipeline. So let's have a quick dive into creating a variable group. But before we do that, I'll show you a quick sample of hard-coded variables and making reference of variable groups. So here in this code block, as you can see here on our previous series, we did AKS deployment, AKS and Azure Container Registry deployment. So these are the variables in place that were used. This highlighted section uh, is area for hard-coded variables, while line 4 is a reference to a variable group. So with this variable group, there will be no need for this hard-coded variable. So that's the reason for commenting it. And then this is the syntax on how you can reference a variable group in your environment. So this name, bootcamp variables, is the name of the variable group as it is on Azure DevOps environment, as you can see here. So if you want to create a variable group in your Azure DevOps, first you come to the project. You can navigate to the project from your organization. Then you can navigate to the particular project you want to work on, and then hover your mouse over the pipelines, or even click that. It will give you a drop down. Then you can click on the libraries. That is where you can create your variable groups. So on the libraries, you can now click on add new variables, give it a name as you want, demo variables for instance. Then if you want to link this to Azure Key Vault, then you toggle this on and then select the subscription which the Key Vault is residing on, and then the name of the Key Vault which you have. But for the purpose of this, we have a different series for Key Vault linking and then other details concerning creating Azure Key Vault. So on this, to add a variable group on this interface, you just click add. Okay, I can say subscription ID, and then copy your subscription ID into this value. The good news there is, just sample, the good news there is, if you are using this, you can now keep your sensitive data hidden by clicking on this key to get it locked. And once it's locked, the value will be hidden. So after which you click on save, and then that's all. So on your environment, you can just go to your development environment, and then under variables you add groups, and then the name of the variable group. And then once you trigger a pipeline with this, it will automatically pick all the variables that you have listed on this variable groups. So on the previous variables that we already have in place here, now you see that we have two variable groups in place. So with this, let me give more explanation with more detailed variable groups created initially. So with this, we have different environmental variables, some of which I closed just to secure the sensitive information, while some you can just leave it the way they are if you choose, so that you can easily tell what is in there. But for sensitive informations like subscription ID, your tenant ID, and the rest, you can encrypt them. Then, if you want to add more or populate the variable groups more with more details, you can click add on existing, and then after which you click save, and then that's all. So, variable groups are the secret to making your Azure DevOps pipeline more dynamic and maintainable. So, if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more DevOps tips.